Today we continue our sermon series on how to prevent a heart attack. Last week we talked about letting go of the hurt. And there is a great deal of dis-ease that is put on our hearts by the negative emotional spiritual baggage that we accumulate over our life. And one of the largest pieces of baggage is hurt. And we talked about how to get rid of it. How to let go of the hurt that tears us apart and destroys our relationships with others. Today, we're going to look at another major condition that puts a strain on our emotional, spiritual hearts and has a profound effect on our physical hearts. But it's not something that you will hear from medical studies or from physicians. And the reason is that it is a condition so prevalent in society today that it's considered to be normal. We touched on it a few weeks ago in the sermon, God's Formula for Handling Our Finances. And I like to call this condition the my stuff syndrome. We often hear people say, "Don't touch my stuff." How many have heard that? Yeah, don't touch it, it's mine. People spend hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars a year on protecting their stuff. We build large houses to hold our stuff. And in the late 20th and the beginning of the 21st century, a new phenomena has developed. It's called the storage facility. The gated places where if you have too much stuff at home, you pack it all up in your car, or your truck, or your van, and you take it to the storage facility. And you pay $40, $50 a month for them to store your stuff in specially conditioned buildings so nothing will happen to it. I remember passing one of those storage facilities that had a sign out front that said, "No more room at home for your stuff." Well, store it in our climate-controlled facility. But I like this one better. Not enough room for your stuff? Stuff it here. We'll protect it for you. I have a question. I have a question that comes out of that. What would happen? What would happen if you went home from church today and your house was totally empty? Everything gone. The family photos, the clothes, the furniture, the silverware that had been passed down from great-great-great-grandma. The 50-inch plasma screen TV with HD and surround sound. Gone. Your cell phones, BlackBerry, computer, your favorite chair that you used to like to relax in at the end of the day, all gone. How would that affect you? How would you feel if you walked in and your house was empty? What would go through your mind? How would it affect your life? Now I have a test for you. Just want you to do this in your head. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being, well, I generally wouldn't like it, but I'd be okay. I'd be okay myself. And 10 being, I would be totally devastated. Where would you place yourself on that scale from 1 to 10? Just take a moment to think about it. For many, it would be totally devastating. I asked someone once that question. What would happen if everything was gone? And their answer straight out, without any thinking, was, I'd have a heart attack. Now you may be there, sitting there, thinking to yourself, oh, is this guy for real? Is he out of touch with reality? Of course you're thinking to yourself, the loss of all our stuff would be devastating beyond belief. If I lost my stuff, maybe you're thinking, I would lose everything I have spent my life working for. But listen again to what the Bible says. Jesus said to them, beware and be on your guard against every form of greed. For not even when one has an abundance does his life consist of his possessions. I think we have been sold a false bill of goods. Since the beginning of the industrialized age, through the technological age, into the age of the 21st century, we have been trained to believe that the accumulation of things, the accumulation of possessions, the building up of our stuff is a sign of status, of prestige. And we work hard. We work hard to accumulate our stuff. We take great pains to show off our stuff to people. You don't believe me? Men, what are the first things you do when you buy a new car? Don't you accidentally drive it into the neighbor's driveway? He comes out and says, what are you doing? Oh, sorry, I just bought a new car, I guess. Do you want to look at it? You see, not only do we put great pains into accumulating stuff, we work at getting better stuff than our neighbors. Call that. What do we call that? Getting better stuff than our neighbors. Keeping up with the Joneses. The Bible has an interesting verse that talks about the results of trying to keep up with the Joneses. I like the way it's said in the paraphrase, the Message. It says, the temptation to give in to evil comes from us and only us. We have no one to blame but the leering, seducing flare-up of our own lust. Lust gets pregnant and has a baby, sin. Sin grows up to adulthood and becomes a real killer. Now see, the basic meaning of the word lust goes beyond what we normally think. Whenever you hear the word lust, you're always thinking, oh, it has stuff to do with sexual desire. But it's more than that. It is the focusing of your whole being on obtaining the object of your desire. It kind of goes like this. Judd, I'd like to have that. I really want that. I've got to have that. Okay, I'm going to do everything I need to get it. That's what that verse is saying. That is lusting after possessions. Now here's the thing. There's nothing wrong. You ready? You got to hear this. There's nothing wrong with having stuff. And there's nothing wrong with having nice stuff. It's when we develop the my stuff syndrome that there's a problem. Because it's a killer. It will kill us emotionally, it will kill us spiritually, and it will kill us physically.